For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On a bright, ill-fated afternoon in 2003, 7-year-old Isla Romero and her twin sister left the safety of their family's picnic blanket at Deception Pass State Park, drawn by frothy waves to the notorious West Beach Rip Zone. They never returned. Despite an extensive, desperate search by park rangers, local authorities, and countless volunteers, the two young girls vanished without a trace into the churning waters. For 15 agonizing years, the Romero family lived with crushing uncertainty, clinging to fragmented memories and the chilling find of a single child's sneaker washed back by the dusk tide. Then, in 2018, a profound discovery was made, snagged deep within a tangle of bull kelp beneath the treacherous cliffs. A child-sized life vest, its buckle encrusted with cryptic barnacles. This is the complete investigation into what happened to Isla Romero and her twin. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy this content, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now let's continue. Deception Pass State Park, situated on the rugged northwestern coast of Washington State, presented a panorama of breathtaking natural beauty in the summer of 2003. Its iconic bridge spanned turbulent waters, connecting Fidalgo and Whidbey Islands, a testament to both engineering and nature's raw, untamed power. Below, the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean met rocky shores and sandy stretches, concealing treacherous currents, particularly within the designated rip zones of areas like West Beach. This environment, while visually stunning, harbored an inherent danger that often went unnoticed by casual visitors. It was here, on a seemingly idyllic afternoon, that the Romero family had settled for a picnic. The air was crisp, the sun bright, and the rhythmic sound of waves provided a deceptive soundtrack to a day intended for leisure. 7-year-old Isla Romero and her twin sister, full of the boundless curiosity characteristic of childhood, found themselves captivated by the frothy white lines of foam dancing at the water's edge. What began as an innocent chase, a playful dash towards the retreating tide, quickly carried them beyond the immediate view of their parents, towards the water's treacherous embrace. The sudden absence of their children's laughter, the quiet that descended where moments before there had been joyful shouts, triggered an immediate, primal alarm. Calls turned to shouts, and shouts to desperate cries, as the parents rushed towards the waterline where they had last seen their daughters. The vastness of the beach, once inviting, now felt immense and unforgiving. The playful foam now seemed a cruel, white lure, and the churning water offered no easy answers. A frantic search began, their voices echoing against the indifferent roar of the ocean, their minds grappling with an unthinkable reality. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, purple shadows over the sand, the initial, chaotic search yielded no sign of the girls. Hope, tenuous and fragile, began to recede with the tide. Then, in the fading light partially submerged at the waterline, a single object appeared. It was a child's sneaker, small and mud-stained, undeniably belonging to one of the missing twins. Its silent presence on the shore served as a stark and chilling confirmation of the worst fears, leaving behind an agonizing void and an immediate, profound mystery. The twins had disappeared. The alarm that sounded from West Beach reverberated quickly through emergency channels, triggering an immediate and extensive search and rescue operation. Within minutes, local law enforcement, fire departments, and the Coast Guard mobilized, their vessels and personnel converging on Deception Pass. The initial response was robust, a desperate race against time and the unforgiving elements. However, the very nature of Deception Pass, with its notoriously strong tidal currents, deep channels, and a coastline riddled with hidden coves and jagged rocks, presented an almost insurmountable challenge. The designated rip zone at West Beach, where the twins were last seen, was a maelstrom of conflicting forces, capable of sweeping anything out into the vast expanse of the Salish Sea or dragging it down into the depths. Search patterns were meticulously planned, boats crisscrossing the turbulent waters, divers braving frigid currents, and ground crews combing every inch of the shoreline. Yet, the vastness of the sea, arch area, coupled with the relentless movement of the water, meant that efforts were often overwhelmed. The single-child sneaker, recovered at dusk, remained the only tangible piece of evidence. Without a precise point of entry or a clearer understanding of what had transpired, the search was largely a desperate exercise in speculation, hampered by the sheer lack of any further clues. Among those on the front lines was Henry Yazzie, a seasoned coastal SAR volunteer whose intimate knowledge of the local tides and currents was invaluable, though ultimately insufficient against such a profound mystery. Park aide Nolan Whidbey, familiar with every trail, every hidden alcove of Deception Pass State Park, also contributed his expertise, guiding searchers through treacherous terrain. Both understood the deceptive beauty of the pass, recognizing its capacity for sudden, brutal shifts. They knew the waters could conceal secrets indefinitely. As days bled into weeks, the initial flurry of activity began to wane. The exhaustive efforts yielded nothing, and the grim reality settled in. The twins were gone, and the sea had claimed its mystery. Hope, once a flickering flame, slowly extinguished, leaving behind a chilling silence and a profound sense of despair for the Romero family and the community alike. 15 agonizing years had passed since the summer of 2003, a period marked by an enduring silence that deepened the mystery surrounding the disappearance of Isla Romero and her twin sister. For the Romero family, the passage of time brought no solace, only a persistent, gnawing void. Every changing season, every family milestone was a stark reminder of the absence, a life forever altered by a day that began with a picnic and ended with an unfathomable loss. Without a body, without a definitive explanation, closure remained an elusive, cruel concept, leaving them trapped in a perpetual state of grief and unanswered questions. The story of the missing twins at Deception Pass became more than just a local tragedy. It evolved into a somber legend woven into the fabric of the park's history. It served as a chilling cautionary tale, whispered among visitors and residents alike, a stark reminder of the pass's deceptive beauty and inherent dangers. The case baffled local authorities, despite their initial exhaustive efforts. The sheer lack of evidence beyond a single-child sneaker meant that the investigation, active for months, slowly ground to a halt. As years turned into a decade, then more, the official file on the Romero twins grew thick with reports and interviews, but ultimately gathered dust in the cold case archives, a symbol of an investigation that had run out of leads and hope. Within the close-knit community surrounding Deception Pass, the memory of the incident lingered, a collective scar. Charter Captain Suk Kim, whose vessels navigated these very waters daily, knew the pass intimately. Like many others, she remembered the frantic search, the fading hope, and the profound sadness that had settled over the area. The questions raised by the disappearance, how could two children vanish so completely, so quickly, persisted, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. The case remained a cold, unsolved enigma, a testament to the unforgiving nature of the sea and the limitations of human investigation. 15 years after the Romero twins vanished into the turbulent waters of Deception Pass, a dramatic shift in the natural environment would once again bring the cold case into the harsh light of inquiry. Autumn of 2018 delivered a series of powerful king tides to the Washington coast. These extreme tidal events, driven by gravitational forces and atmospheric pressure, churned the depths and scoured the shorelines with an intensity rarely seen, often revealing secrets long held by the sea. It was during the recession of one such monumental tide, after days of relentless oceanic assault, that a startling discovery was made along a secluded stretch of coastline within Deception Pass State Park. Below a jagged, unmarked cliff face, where the relentless currents typically prevented casual access. A local beachcomber noticed an anomaly amidst the freshly exposed rocks and debris. Ensnared within a thick, leathery tangle of bull kelp, bleached and twisted by the tide, was a small, vibrant splash of orange. Closer inspection revealed it to be a child-sized life vest, remarkably intact despite its apparent ordeal. Its bright color, though faded, was still discernible, and the plastic buckles, while encrusted, appeared functional. The find was immediately reported to park authorities, its significance quickly understood. The vest's dimensions, clearly designed for a young child, instantly drew a chilling parallel to the 2003 disappearance of 7-year-old Isla Romero and her twin sister. The location of its discovery, though miles from West Beach by direct water current, was still within the broader geographical reach of Deception Pass. Initial examination confirmed the vest's construction and design were consistent with models available 15 years prior. Its miraculous preservation, protected within the kelp bed against the worst ravages of the ocean, felt like a deliberate unveiling. This was more than just a piece of discarded flotsam. It was a tangible link to a tragedy that had haunted the region for a decade and a half. For the Romero family, who had long endured the torment of an unresolved loss, and for the investigators who had reluctantly shelved the case, this discovery was a seismic event. It transformed a dormant file, thick with unanswered questions and fading hope, into an active, urgent inquiry once more. The life vest, silent yet eloquent, offered a glimmer of possibility, a tangible thread from the past, promising that the mysteries of that fateful day might, at long last, begin to unravel. The discovery of the child-sized life vest, ensnared in the kelp below the towering cliffs, immediately transformed the dormant file of the Romero twins into an active, high-priority investigation. 15 years of silence were shattered, replaced by a renewed sense of urgency and purpose within the Washington State Cold Case Unit. Resources previously allocated elsewhere were redirected, and a dedicated team was assembled, their mandate clear: to leverage every available scientific and investigative tool to unravel the enduring mystery. This was not merely a reopening. It was a full-scale commitment to a case that had haunted the region for over a decade. The life vest itself became the paramount piece of evidence, subjected to an immediate and meticulous forensic examination. Every seam, every buckle, every thread of its faded orange fabric was scrutinized under high-powered microscopes. Investigators sought any trace of DNA, fibers, or microscopic debris that might offer a clue to its journey or its wearer. The objective was to extract every possible piece of information that the ocean, in its vastness, might have preserved, to understand not just what the vest was, but where it had been and for how long. Recognizing the unique challenges of a marine environment, the investigative team quickly sought specialized expertise. Marine biologists were consulted to analyze any organic growth or sediment clinging to the vest, hoping to identify specific species that could pinpoint geographical origins or immersion times. Oceanographers were brought in to model the complex tidal currents and eddies of Deception Pass, to understand how an object might drift over such an extended period, and from what potential starting points. With a tangible object now guiding their efforts, investigators began to metaphorically retrace the steps of the original disappearance. The focus shifted from the broad, desperate search of 2003 to a targeted inquiry, attempting to reconstruct the vest's journey from its likely point of entry into the water to its eventual discovery. This physical link provided a crucial anchor, allowing them to reevaluate old theories and consider new possibilities, guided by the vest's presence. This renewed focus also necessitated a return to local knowledge, often overlooked in the initial, frantic search. Henry Yazzie, the seasoned coastal SAR volunteer whose intimate understanding of Deception Pass's treacherous waters and hidden coves was unparalleled, was once again brought into consultation. His insights into historical current patterns and less frequented areas became invaluable. Similarly, Park aide Nalin Whidbey, intimately familiar with every official trail and every unmarked path within the park's sprawling terrain, was consulted anew. His institutional memory of the park, particularly regarding any unofficial paths leading down to the water, was critical. Even Charter Captain Suk Kim, whose daily navigation of these very waters gave her an intuitive understanding of the pass's moods and movements, as approached for her unique perspective on the hydrodynamics of specific coves or eddies that might trap debris over time. The convergence of cutting-edge forensic science and seasoned local expertise marked a new, hopeful chapter in the investigation. The scientific scrutiny of the recovered life vest became the singular focus of the re-energized investigation. Every millimeter of its faded orange fabric, every stitch, and every plastic component underwent exhaustive forensic analysis. Crucially, marine biologists identified specific clusters of barnacles adhering to the plastic buckle. These organisms, delicate yet resilient, offered a unique biological timestamp. Through meticulous examination of their growth stages and species identification, experts determined that the barnacles had matured in the turbulent waters of Deception Pass for a prolonged period, dating the vest's submersion to a timeframe consistent with the 2003 disappearance, rather than a more recent loss. This established the vest as an authentic artifact from the original incident. Concurrently, a team of oceanographers initiated an advanced tide current backtracking protocol. Utilizing a vast database of historical tide, current, and wind data specific to Deception Pass, they developed sophisticated computer models. These models simulated millions of potential drift trajectories, working backward from the precise coordinates where the vest was discovered in the bull kelp. The notorious complexity of the pass's currents, once an overwhelming obstacle, now became an intricate map. By combining the barnacle dating, which provided a critical window of time for the vest's initial entry into the water, with the reverse drift modeling, the possible origin points for the life vest were dramatically narrowed. The scientific analysis converged on a single, highly specific location, a narrow, secluded cove nestled directly beneath an unmarked cliff face, several miles north of the initial West Beach picnic site. This cove was largely inaccessible from the main, official park trails and was not a location extensively searched in 2003. When presented with these findings, Park aide Nalin Whidbey and Coastal SAR volunteer Henry Yazzie, both with decades of intimate knowledge of the park's hidden corners, confirmed the existence of a faint, unofficial path. This rudimentary trail, barely discernible to the untrained eye, wound precariously down the cliff face to the isolated cove. It was a route known primarily to local anglers seeking secluded fishing spots, a clandestine passage that had remained outside the parameters of the initial, frantic search efforts. The scientific breakthrough, marrying the microscopic world of barnacles with the macroscopic forces of the ocean, had finally pinpointed a chillingly specific potential origin for the vest, and by extension, a new understanding of the twins' last moments. The convergence of meticulous scientific analysis and renewed local insight finally unveiled a chillingly plausible scenario for the 2003 disappearance. The barnacle growth stages, precisely dating the life vest's prolonged immersion, established its authenticity as a relic from that fateful day. This biological clock, combined with the sophisticated tide current backtracking models, pointed with unnerving accuracy to the narrow, secluded cove beneath the unmarked cliff path. This was the vest's probable point of entry into the tumultuous waters of Deception Pass. The pieces, once scattered and seemingly unrelated, now clicked into place, forming a coherent, albeit tragic, narrative. The twins, captivated by the allure of the water, may have ventured beyond West Beach, perhaps following the faint, unofficial angler's path that led directly down to this isolated cove. Here, away from the watchful eyes of their parents and obscured from the wider, initial search efforts, they would have entered the water. The powerful currents of the pass, infamous for their strength and unpredictability, would have quickly swept them away, carrying one of their life vests on a 15-year journey before the king tide finally released its secret. The absence of the cove from the primary search parameters in 2003 now made agonizing sense. It was a hidden pocket, known only to a few, and easily overlooked in the chaos of a frantic, widespread search. For the Romero family, this resolution, while not bringing their daughters home, offered a profound and agonizing form of closure. After 15 years of unbearable uncertainty, haunted by a void of unanswered questions, they now possessed a scientifically supported understanding of the circumstances surrounding their children's disappearance. The specifics of how the tragedy unfolded, the probable location of their last moments, provided a tangible narrative where before there had only been a terrifying blank. It was a somber certainty, but a certainty nonetheless, allowing the family to finally begin the long, arduous process of grieving with a clearer picture of their loss. The case of the missing Romero twins became a testament to the enduring power of forensic science and the unwavering persistence of investigation. It highlighted how even the smallest biological clue, when paired with advanced oceanographic modeling and a willingness to revisit forgotten corners, could unravel a decade-and-a-half-old mystery. The legacy of Isla Romero and her twin sister now serves as a poignant reminder of deception, pass's inherent dangers, prompting enhanced signage and awareness campaigns within the park. Their story, once a haunting enigma, evolved into a cautionary tale, ensuring that the memory of the two young girls and the scientific perseverance that illuminated their fate would continue to resonate within the community and beyond.